Suddenly, the action is transferred to our guy's apartment, where he had already opened the bottles bought in the store, and was neighing like a horse while eating chips. He cannot describe the feelings he is experiencing now. He feels as if he has some kind of mental disorder. The guy just lies down on the sofa and says that his life is resolved again. And now he feels like a dirty garbage bag. Can things really be that bad? He begins to think about the words that his grandfather told him. Our hero was in such despair that he decided to pretend to believe in his words and try this strange thing with dreams and dreams. But before leaving for another world, he needs to remember the person he wants to meet there. But no one really comes to mind. He remembers his grandfather's words that Minsk must come up with a fascinating story that he will think through to the smallest details and live in his dream. Suddenly, the action shifts again to the road where our main character was standing in a traffic jam in his car. But haven't we already passed this point in history? Our boy decided to pinch himself because he couldn't believe that this was reality. Why the hell was he even living it all over again? Maybe it was just a strange dream. But Min-seok stops thinking that this is just a dream when he again finds himself in that strange situation when he had a fight with his neighbor. This pumped-up dude again mocked the old man, and our hero stood completely helpless and could not do anything about it. At one point, he thinks that this cannot be just a strange dream, but most likely he somehow ended up in the past. But this is unlikely. The situation was simply worse than ever. Our boy again stands on the sidelines and wonders about his problems, whether he actually returned to the past, or is it just a bad dream no longer matters. In such cases, our hero has nothing to lose, and he decides to live this moment like a real Marvel superhero. He calls that huge dude over and tells this freak with tattoos to choose an opponent of his own size. Minsk decides to live this moment to the fullest, but only that guy still remains as strong. He cannot understand why the hell our hero is going in his direction. Suddenly, our main character felt like a real gigachad and prescribed a blow to his enemy right in the lower jaw. The girl was clearly worried that our boy had just sent her husband on a free flight, and Minsk was shocked that he had such power even in the world of dreams. This event really clarified a lot. Now our main character is sure that he is in his dream. Madame wanted to somehow help her husband, but he somehow managed to get up after a powerful blow. Looking more closely at his wife, he realized that he was constantly thinking about her. Perhaps that's why he was transported to this particular memory. The lady was clearly angry with our hero, saying that he will teach him a lesson, but the boy very easily dodges such a simple attack by simply moving back a little. Taking a good swing, he kicks this guy in the legs, after which he again finds himself on the ground with terrible cries of pain. Minsk's face becomes insane in front of his offender, and he asks if this guy is really so stupid that he decided to attack him hand to hand, but that lady with a tattoo on her neck stands in front of him and covers her beloved. She is not going to just stand and watch him beat him. She threatens to report him to the police. Our hero has nothing to respond to this situation, and in his thoughts he thinks that, as expected, this cannot be called anything other than a dream. The girl begins to shout loudly towards passers-by so that one of them calls the police, but our hero already has a secret plan. He suggests that she first go inside the house because there is a heavy downpour outside and the lady might get wet and get sick. Let her idiot husband bring her into the house too. She won't leave him on the street. Beaten in the rain, Minsk says that he himself does not like violence and therefore offers to go into the house to just talk peacefully and resolve the conflict. The girl has no choice but to agree. While our boy was looking at them, the girl wants to know about his condition, but apart from mooing, he can't make anything else. Turning around, he notices the approving glances of passers-by who like him just like you. Under this video, the boy couldn't even imagine that such a reaction would follow from the crowd and responded with a mutual like. He couldn't even imagine that his dream would be so rich. Meanwhile, at home, the girl wanted to make a phone call while her husband was resting on the floor, but suddenly someone entered the apartment. It was our main character who terribly closes the door and tells the lady to immediately hang up and not make unnecessary movements. The lady asked him the reason why he closes the door while her husband calls him a moral monster. He makes his crazy smile again. Our hero expected that they would have a very sincere conversation, but it seems they think differently. In such cases, the boy begins to roll up his sleeves to show who the real boss of the rocking chair is. Minsk says that this beautiful lady will have to wait a little while. He deals with her lover. From these words, the girl tenses up. The beefy guy was clearly angry and asked our hero what he was going to do with his wife, but Minsk says that he will soon find out about this. But first, he wants to teach him a lesson, after which he wraps himself around him and hits him. The girl is already tired of enduring all this, and she simply shouts at our hero. That's enough. She begs him to stop and not beat her husband anymore. He holds this guy by the hair and asks what he should do next because the lady really asks him to stop beating him, but the pumped-up guy just calls him a freak. Looking at his face, it's clear that he can't say anything other than insults. This makes our hero very angry. It seems that that dude still didn't understand that he needs to be talked to more respectfully, but that's okay. Min-sik has a couple more punches in stock, having received several more hits on his stupid head. The guy understands that it's better not to show off now and asks him to stop. Our hero looks at him like he's a piece of shit and tells him to watch his language more carefully. With the last of his strength, he begs him for forgiveness and for our hero to just let him go. Of course, our boy is not going to keep him here forever, but he can only let him go on one condition. His dear wife would have to play Monopoly with him right here and now. Both looked at this guy as if he were some kind of maniac with strange games. He was just crazy. The pumped-up guy wanted to object and call our hero a freak, but suddenly the girl asks her husband to be silent for a bit. She says that she will play Monopoly with him without any problems and mince. It clearly likes these words, judging by his satisfied smile, but she takes an oath from him that after completing the game, the guy will let them go and will not pursue them. Of course, Minsk is a man of his word, but the lady will have to try hard because he simply plays this game masterfully. Just touching the dice gave the guy goosebumps. He had not met a worthy opponent for a long time. After the guy took out his playing piece, the lady's face immediately changed. Minsk clearly likes this reaction. He had a very unusual figurine that looked like a mushroom with a large cap, but to me it looked more like an atomic warhead. The girl really enjoyed the gameplay. Our hero understood that he did not have many worthy opponents, but no one had yet managed to defeat him in this game. When he and his wife were still together at some point, they abruptly stopped playing Monopoly and therefore their relationship became even worse. He simply could not believe that after so many years, his lightsaber would again show itself in its former light. Suddenly, he tells the lady that she is playing wrong because of such moves his sword.